Good morning, grade nines. Today, I'll be introducing you to a gradient, okay? How do we really define a gradient? So we define a gradient as rise over run, okay? What does this rise mean and what does a run mean? Rise just means change in y, okay? And run mean change in x. And what does change mean? Change means, it can be the initial value minus the final value, or the final value minus the initial value, okay? So in the context of a Cartesian plane, okay? Let's look at a positive gradient. How does a positive gradient looks like? So this is a positive gradient, looks like that, okay? And a negative gradient kind of go down, okay? Positive gradient, think of climbing a hill, kind of a positive gradient. A negative gradient is you going down. It's a negative gradient. Now, let's see. A gradient, we say, is rise. Rise means up. So if we look at this, we're going up on a Cartesian plane. If we go up, this is positive. We're going up, positive. So rise, which is up, the positive, over run, across, but run, if we go that direction, we're going into the positive direction. Does it make sense? So this is up, over, run, but this run is positive. This is positive over positive, which is positive. So this is a positive gradient, okay? Let's look at this. This is another. So we go rise, which is negative direction, we're going down, and run, but this run is negative direction also, and what is negative over a negative, which is positive, so this is a positive gradient also, okay? What about a negative gradient? Let's look at a negative gradient. The same definition, rise over run, change in y over change in x. So if you look at this gradient, so we're going to go gradient is rise over run. So we rise, we're going up. For us to get to that point, we go up, which is positive, and we go this direction, which is negative, and this is what? Positive over negative, which is a negative. So this is a negative gradient, okay? Or we can get a negative gradient which looks like this also, where the definition is still rise over run, okay? We have to go rise, we're going down, which is negative, run, which is what? Positive, negative over a positive, which is negative. So this is a negative gradient. Okay, so this is on page 6. So now we look at page 7. We look at the zero gradient. Zero or horizontal gradient or horizontal line. Think about this. A flat surface. It has a zero gradient. That's another way of thinking about it. Because if you look at rise, so you have no rise. So rise is 0. And run is, you have run, which is some number. So 0 over a run, we get 0. So this line, a flat line, it has what? A gradient of 0. Okay, think about this, a flat surface. The incline is 0. So the gradient is 0. Just think of in that manner way also. So let's look at the second one, a vertical line. A vertical line, it has undefined gradient, because if you look at rise, you do have a rise. We do have a rise, but the run is 0. So rise is some number which we don't know, but run is 0. And what is a number divided by 0 is undefined. So a gradient of this is undefined. Or think about, if I have a hill of that nature, can I really run on that hill? It's impossible, okay? Gradient undefined. Let's look at some few examples. which is on page 7 of your booklet. This booklet is on Google Classroom also. Determine whether the gradient is positive, negative, 0, or undefined, okay, in each of the following. If you look at this one, what is the gradient? The gradient is negative. This is negative. And the gradient for number 2, this is a horizontal line. The gradient is 0. Number 3, we just discussed this. The gradient for this is undefined. Okay. And what about the gradient for this? This is positive. This is positive. This is positive. Okay. So from here, guys, what I'd like you to do, you're going to do exercise C, exercise D, and exercise E. That should take you less than 2 minutes to do. What you have to do is to determine whether the gradient is positive, negative, or 0, undefined. Then you do similarly, you go to E, it's exactly the same exercise. Okay, then from here I'll upload a video on example on page 9, then you carry on with exercise 5. Okay, good luck, guys. Let's see, this is the work for today.